Hello and welcome to the RGB podcast where everything's fucking RGB. I am, of course, Joe Scornbrace. I'm joined here by my usual co-host, Tony Tones@RT.
Can I change myself to the blue bulb this time?
I don't know what the hell you're on about, but I'm
Red,
also...
Red Dwarf references.
Okay. I'm joined by Daniel as well.
I'm the green bulb.
Okay. we usually have the Red Dwarf reference as the Switch.
Yeah, that's the image we use.
Whenever we talk about the Nintendo Switch, every time we've used footage of the Switch, we've been flagged by Nintendo Content ID for copyright. So now we have the anti-Nintendo Switch, which is a picture of the Switch from Red Dwarf.
Which says, fuck you, Nintendo Content ID, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's from the episode. Is it
Season 6, episode 2 or 3, Legion?
Legion, yeah. And he goes, oh, that's an interesting piece of art, Legion. What is it? He's like, it's the light switch. He's like, oh, can I have it? He's like, no, I need it.
I was, with complete tangerine to even start with, I got a content strike on one of my YouTube videos the other day.
Oh my god.
In fairness, right, it's a video of me going around the deep, which is like an underwater aquarium.
Yeah.
But it's set to like, the first bit's like a bit of instrumental from, you put a comment on it once. It's the one that's got the instrumental from Bioshock, and you put a comment saying, this little fish has just had his cherry. Because it's got like music from Bioshock on it. It's got just like some ambient music from Half-Life 2, and it's got music from like, I think like Kingdom Hearts, like promotional footage or something. So I thought,
Square Enix, Valve.
Yeah, and I thought,
and
okay,
whoever
this is legit. Somebody's going to try
2K?
to comment this, and it's YouTube's fucking auto. It's YouTube's auto content match thing. Like, what do they think this? And they think it's like some Spanish folk song. And I was like, I'm not going to contest this because it is loaded to the hilt with copyright material. So I'm just going to mute that bit. But it's just like, how does it get this so wrong? It's like, Ti amo me cresta. Like, yay!
Me gusta copyright.
The YouTube copyright ID is a bit whack.
That was a copyright.
The copyright.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
There's a copyright, right. So...
On to the real news.
So,
I guess.
The news.
Razer's now got this new system called... no, I don't know. You rack up Z Silver while you game, basically.
It's a great name. It rolls off the tongue.
Rack up the silver while you game.
So this is the currency you earn. Basically, you have to game on...
It's called pay to play. That's what the scheme is called.
You have to play League of Legends, Dota 2, Paladins, Overwatch, or CSGO while using the Razer Cortex. And their idea is that you are testing out the Cortex to optimize it to these games, and you can earn Z Silver while you're playing them, basically. And there's a bunch of different Razer products you can buy. So basically, you earn the currency, you pay in Z Silver, and you can only earn a daily cap of 900 Z Silver with 6 Z Silver per minute. So it's around, I think it's around 2 hours a day. 2.5 hours of play a day is your cap. And if you do that so if you play like 2.5 hours a day of League or Overwatch or CSGO, after, 217 days, you can get a
keyboard.
A Black Widow keyboard.
That's what I've always wanted for... So like 2/3 of a year to get a keyboard.
Yeah. Including this lovely light-up cup holder.
So, you know how I love RGB stuff?
Yeah, you love it.
I mean, I was pretty pissed off when they released the RGB mouse mat.
I don't see a problem with it, but...
Right.
Cup holder, I can see the problem.
They've gone too far. The Razer have the Razer Chroma mug holder.
It looks quite good, actually.
It's a Z Silver exclusive. Basically, they built this. They had extra LEDs lying around. They were like, what the fuck can we build?
You can only buy this with the new Z Silver currency.
Is this in R&D? They've just got a load of RGB stuff lying
around. They basically
around.
decided they'd do this. I think what it actually was, they were like, we've accidentally ordered more RGB LEDs than there are people on the planet, right?
Yeah, that's what they've
So
done.
they're just lying around, and people are drowning every day in RGB LEDs. They're like, please help. So they decided, right, we'll get them to use this stupid Z Silver thing, and we'll build something that we can offer so that it looks like there is a lower price point, but hope that everybody peters out of even wanting to do this thing before anyone even gets remotely near 100,000 Z Silver points, whatever you want to call them. Because that's
what they're called.
That's stupid. I don't get it.
Wait, system requirements. You need 100 megabytes of hard disk space. I guess this.
Use it. It's not compatible with Mac. What the hell, guys?
Oh well.
Yeah, I don't know, what software are they using?
I think it's the Razer Chroma software. So I assume that you can make your fucking cup holder go off the same color as your headset or your
you can do
keyboard.
Some cool stuff with like rain meter and all sorts of things where you can actually like time your music so that like a green wave goes right across your desk, across all your peripherals and back, and that's cool. Like the first time it happens, and then it's
not
distracting.
that practical. Yeah.
I have RGB on my headset, but I always have it turned off because it drains battery.
Yeah.
And it's wireless.
Yeah.
So
I have RGB on. Actually, do I have RGB on anything anymore? I have a string of LED lights that I used to
probably
light
on
the
your
back.
keyboard. Do you?
No, I
Oh.
don't think so. That thing's like I had a Cherry MX blue switches that have got a blue backlight because I don't need it to do anything else, and I'm sure I have one. Obviously, my PC's like loaded to the hilt with LEDs, but other than that, there's nothing. There's no point.
Do you have the RAM with LEDs on it?
No, I think it's supposed to be able to light up, but for whatever reason, I've never been able to get the software to work. It's not
they
LED,
make RAM with lights on
it's not LED.
Everything needs to be lit up.
So it is LED, but it's not RGB LED. It's just like one static color. And if you want to change the colors, you have to like take the RAM out, take a strip of translucent plastic out, and put another one in.
So what do you think of this Z Silver idea? Do you think it's a good idea by Razer? Would you use it?
I would rather than instead of trying to earn unreasonable amount of Z Silver for something, they cherry picked like a bunch of people to say, you're in this, we're going to give you this, and we'll give you like, if you earn a small thing, we'll give you a guaranteed thing at the end of it, like a very small amount of people. And for everyone else, they just did like promotional tie-ins to games, like we'll manage to talk to Blizzard and give you 20 free loot crates or something.
20 free loot. Do you know how much money that is?
I know it's a lot, but it's in like, you know what I mean, something similar, like a microtransaction based thing that people might actually see some benefit from quicker rather than
so
an LED
you're
cup
saying
holder.
that people would rather get digital loot boxes than physical headsets.
Because I think they could earn it quicker than physical stuff.
But they could get. You can't get the RGB cup holder anywhere else, Tony.
I think
that's true.
I think the bigger problem is because obviously when it comes to like not real currency, like loyalty programs, basically,
that's some good mug capacity.
You have to compare it with the time.
I think you get the mug as well.
Yeah,
you have to. The time required is like 2/3 of a year to get a keyboard worth like 100 or 100 and something pounds.
And not only that, even less. Like
this thing doesn't seem worth it at all.
You have to spend 2 hours every single day playing games, which I'm sure for some people is like, I'm doing that anyway. But what all Razer, I honestly think, are relying on at this point is that people will do this
for a
get
little
it there in the background, and then after a while they'll just be like,
keylogged.
Yeah, they'll sell all of your details
this is
to
Razer
China.
scheme to keylog us for art. Ooh, look at the pretty lights. Don't think about it.
What the fuck's Z Gold then? They're real money currency.
Right,
what?
So,
that's their current loyalty currency. I think you get that when you buy a product from them.
Right.
Okay. So that lets you buy other stuff in games.
I think you put. I think it's like,
like
online currency.
Okay, so it's like an equivalent to Steam or some shit.
Yeah.
Which has got
Steam
games
funds.
on it. What the hell?
You can buy things in Crossfire and
you can buy it on Gamers Game
and Paladins. So the games you're gonna. So what do you think of the lineup of games? I think these are definitely 5 of the most popular
what
games
they've done
on the market.
is they have targeted the platforms which people will probably be playing anyway. Okay, so props to them for that, because that's less like profiteering by saying we don't expect anyone to actually do this. But at the same time, I bet what actually happens is that it comes around and they're like, say 6 months in, they're like, due to unpopular, not unpopular demand. Is that the right term? Probably. We're no longer continuing this promotion because not enough people gained XP.
I'd be really pissed off if I could get my RGB cup holder.
And I'm sure other people will as well, but
I really want my RGB cup
I don't
holder.
see this taking off. This is
Well, I think they're trying to push Cortex, because basically what's happening is they're getting beta tests by giving people, the carrot on a stick to say you can get a keyboard if you do this for a year, and beta test our Cortex software, and eventually they want to get it to a point where it's
more popular these days.
They want to get it to a point where you can go on Overwatch with Razer Cortex and go, we've saved you 5 frames per second or something like that.
A few flops have been saved.
Yeah, more and more these days, companies are like, why should we test the software when I can give it to this guy before it's ready and he'll test it for me, and then eventually it might be good, or I'll have got their money by that point, so I don't care.
But if they just had a simple, we're doing an open beta test, I would have been fine with this.
Yeah, I think...
but I don't think anyone would have done it if they just...
I think some people would.
I mean, I, as a matter of principle, I do not think most of your problems can be solved via software alone. There will be people who will think, I've downloaded more RAM.com and now everything's fine.
What do you think of the new Windows 10 performance mode that's coming out?
I had not heard about this. It's the first time.
You haven't heard of this?
No.
I think early tests said it didn't really do anything. I'll just look it up.
Wasn't the early test showing it sometimes it did over performance and other times it was doing worse?
Yeah. I think it's kind of tied. Yeah, PC Gamer tested it.
This is what I mean, right? Most things you have to really fix using hardware tweaks, not software. I mean, no amount of LED.
But there's amount of efficiency.
I think at the moment it's pretty crap, but you can kind of halt background processes.
Yeah, stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Well, pardon me. I used to use something called, I think it was Game Booster or something, right? Where you started it up, and the first thing it does is it logs you out of Skype, and it kills off a bunch of background processes, and it just everything else that you don't need to run turns off. And remember Windows Vista had aero features and stuff like that. It would disable those automatically for you. That was okay, but these days the stuff I'm actually thankful for is stuff like NVIDIA GeForce Experience that updates my graphics drivers for me. And has optimum settings where you just click one button. It's most people have downloaded this.
When was the last time you updated your drivers?
I mean, I update mine quite frequently.
Really?
Yeah, my drivers...
I haven't updated mine since November.
So I tend to keep mine updated because the graphics drivers themselves usually have got tweaks for the later games which are coming out, which is, for me, fine, because usually it's they've made those changes now. What most people don't do, but they probably should, life pro tip, there's actually
the
extra
uninstaller.
Options. Yeah, so there's options
do a
clean install where it'll not leave shit behind as well.
Well, it'll install absolutely everything.
Make sure that you check the version numbers on things and don't always reinstall the physics and the audio stuff because
recommend
you don't care.
Before you ever install a NVIDIA driver, if you go to reddit.r NVIDIA, they always do a mod post that says the new driver, and then people write what's happening.
Yeah, they're like, driver. My PC has just
My
died.
Computer's bricked, I can't restart it. I'm like, well, I'm not down to that driver then.
They improves the graphics for Ark Survival. I think one
it
of
does.
them was.
It's most of them are just minor performance tweaks to...
minor performance tweaks and bricking your computer. And this next... patch. Looking at some of the FPSs from the PC Gamer tested out, and they had gaming mode off and gaming mode on. There's not a lot of difference, really.
No.
There is a
difference, though. I mean, that's visible, but it's not on a chart. It's visible at least, but it's not.
Well, there's literally 0.1 of a frame between these two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not that much. So
it does increase the average ever so slightly more than the
the average is a frame extra every second.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a bad thing, I don't think.
If you're at that, you're on your brand new monitor, you're running at 143 frames per second, and you're desperate for 144. Then maybe that's
I think you're supposed to run it one frame underneath, aren't you?
It's like the calculation they always used to do is always set the limit of your frame rate to 100, whatever your frame rate is for your monitor, doubled plus 1 or minus 1 or something like that. I don't remember.
Oh.
There's some calculation that they used to do for...
So, do you think if this was a different company doing this, maybe if you could get Logitech products or Corsair products, more people would do this?
Not with the time required to put into it to get anything.
Two reasons for that. You must have used the Logitech gaming software before, right?
No.
It's pretty crap. That's
the
reason why you've got it installed. I can see it there.
That's for my headset.
Yeah, exactly. But How many
doesn't-
times have you opened it?
I use it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I have to use it
I think
to...
it's pretty good for peripherals. I don't think it's good
It tells
for
me how
anything
much
else.
battery my headset's got. It's
to
where
say
I
stuff
control
like
my
that,
RGBs. I can turn bass and treble up and down and stuff like that.
Okay, so... But what you're doing there is, like Tony says, you're controlling your peripherals.
Yeah.
You're not making any differences to the games you're actually
Because it doesn't
playing.
have that option.
Exactly, right? Whereas Razer have been doing this for a while. They came out with... I can't remember what thing... I think Synapse is the name of the thing that looks after all your peripherals and keeps your settings the same no matter where you are and when you plug your mouse in or whatever.
Cloud-based
So
optimization.
they're probably a little bit better at this than someone like Corsair who make hideous software.
They don't make
Logitech.
hideous software.
It's not great. Like the Corsair stuff, when I did have a keyboard from Corsair...
I've got the keyboard.
No,
Yeah,
not that one.
they've
They
improved
had-
the software for it massively recently.
Like, when I used to use it, it looked like it was hideous. Like, every time you try and rebind something,
Nah.
it would crash frequently.
It looks a lot like the Logitech stuff now these days.
I don't like that either. Maybe I'm just biased. I don't even have any Razer
Well,
products anymore.
I've never had a Razer product, but
I had a Death Adder for a while. They're pretty good.
I heard that they're a bit overpriced.
Well, yeah,
and
massively.
they're a bit more
It's
what's the
a
word?
status icon.
Yeah,
Alienware.
you know, like Skull Candy or Beats, where it's just like they look good.
Yeah, exactly. It's aesthetic over performance.
What do you think of Beats? Because you had the HTC phone with Beats audio in it. Do you think it's just a bit of a scam? or-
HTC had a good... This is a tangent as well, because that phone's old now, but HTC made a massive leap forward in audio purely by putting dual-facing stereo speakers on the front of the phone,
Wow.
and then they labelled it HTC Beats.
Doesn't
It was
all
like,
that Beats does is
okay.
it makes the lows lower and the
Yeah,
highs higher,
pretty much.
Which you
basically.
can do yourself
It's an
anyway.
EQ. No one particularly cared about the fact it had a Beats logo. What HTC actually did was just changing the position of the speakers. That was revolutionary. Beats itself is just a crap, stupid label. Hence, I've got friends who
But
buy them.
Spider-Man's wearing Beats in the
Exactly.
new Homecoming
Oh, and look at
picture.
my
So many-
Transformer.
yeah,
It's
I-
turned into a pill by
what-
Beats.
I need to buy Beats because Jay-Z's cool.
Oh, I
And
forgot
Apple
about
own
that.
them now.
Why do you remind me of that awful scene with
No,
the
no,
beach?
it's
Is it
Transformer.
is it Jay-Z who does Beats or is it?
It's Dre.
Yeah, Dr. Dre. I was gonna say.
He works for Apple
does
now. Do
Jay-Z.
you want to see a funny picture?
Where
Look
did
for Dr. Dre Apple. If you ever want to see Dr. Dre in a really weird picture, just put images.
Okay.
See if you
Look
get the
this
line
up.
There
at
he
home.
is.
Which one?
Like, there's Dr. Dre, Thug Life, and there he is. Hi guys, we're so happy here at Silicon
It's
Valley.
weird. It's weird seeing Dr. Dre now after seeing Straight Outta Compton and seeing like what his life used to be before.
Yeah, he's changing. That's Eminem just goes next to him, just like, I don't want to be here.
I'm just in the
weird.
studio.
Oh, Beats being advertised in a Beats promotional picture.
Have I offended Dr. Dre by saying Jay-Z was doing Beats? I
He's
think
never coming on the podcast again now.
Does Jay-Z is he involved in Beats? I think he is.
I don't know. Put in Beats, see what happens. No. It's well, there is that.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we've
Nah.
learnt a lot.
They were massively tangent. Next topic.
I was going to look up Jay-Z on the fucking Wikipedia, but let's go off this.
So basically, I don't care about...
Destiny 2 has been announced for September. These are small news segments.
This small news, Destiny 2
Boring.
announced.
Yeah, I don't really get.
No. Does
I
anyone-
thought it was a PS4 exclusive.
Most people... I'm sure
Nah.
it is. Is it not?
Apparently it's console exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
But I think it has PS4
Oh, wait,
only
no, because
content.
Destiny did come out on Xbox One after a while, didn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it was
okay.
PS4 exclusive first, though.
Yeah.
Because everyone was really excited because it was like, Bungie are making shit again, and then they made this, and they were like,
Yeah, that's the game I was looking for.
it's okay.
Oh, right.
I typed in Destiny 2 and
Tales of
Google's
Destiny
like,
2.
did you mean Tales of Destiny 2 on the PlayStation 2?
With a cool ass
Yeah,
looking anime
that's the
kid
one I wanted.
And his Digimon to the right. Is that his fist? I
D-
don't even know what's
let's-
going on.
Let's read too much into Budgie's Destiny 2.
By Forbes.
Everyone wants to write about Destiny 2, but nobody has any information.
Yeah.
So they
There are
just
some screenshots of the first
This
game.
is why we're doing it at the start.
it's
but
a slow
small
news week, but we want to talk about video games. Let's try and scrape everything out of Destiny
Is
2.
that, are you reading their introduction now, or are you just making that up?
What?
On that article? Is
No.
that the unofficial introduction they didn't actually write?
No, they didn't write that. What they should.
It's a slow news week. But we want to talk about Destiny 2.
There's a whole article about them confirming the existence of Destiny 2.
Why has that guy got 2 brushes on his back?
I was just thinking that he's got like a triggers broom.
I think this
going.
is the first Bungie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think if it's only just been announced. I don't think they'll
Yeah,
have
they
any.
haven't
first
released
Bungie,
any
the first
information in
Destiny.
it. Oh, sorry, but Bungie do Destiny, don't
Yes, they do, but it's not the first Bungie.
they? Sorry,
Bungie the first.
they were the ex Halo people,
Yeah, they were.
weren't they?
Yeah.
So they basically made all the Halo games until Halo 4, when they were taken over by
Was this Reach or something?
Studio 419, I think, or something like that.
343.
Something like that. 419, 343, one of those.
The one owned by Microsoft.
419 is like, I think, one is like a move by the Undertaker or something. I don't fucking know.
You're on your own on that one.
Yeah. Joe is still
What were you-
excessively looking for Dr. Dre.
I have to
Jay-Z.
prove I'm not racist.
No, you're definitely mad.
Dr. Dre earned 620 million last year, but this year Jay-Z and Drake and Diddy all surpassed
You
it.
think that Dave Benson Phillips, Lenny Henry, and
Same
and
person.
the guy, who's the guy from Ready Steady Cook?
Ainsley Harry.
You think they all look the same, don't you?
They all look completely different. to
I fucked it. I knew it was Beats by Dre, but I just said Jay-Z because we always talk about him when he got outbid by Knox.
Yeah, that's
in
my
LA.
favourite story.
Speaking of being really racist,
Oh god.
Oh, we got-
Jontron.
Oh, you want
Oh,
to?
you want- okay, we're going
It's a good tangerine. I'm just going to use it.
Alright.
It's a
So
segue.
Was he?
I don't know. I don't think we should talk too much about
No.
politics on the podcast because even though we talked about
His-
Wall
yeah,
Street,
but-
Journal
I will-
and Pew-
yeah.
It's not our politics.
I will
like
say
that.
this though: watch his unlisted videos, which he linked through Twitter, because it makes way more sense when you watch that video. I think.
It's there's been like a smear piece of him basically from all the media,
Yeah, like from what I
like
read
similar
through
to
this,
PewDiePie, and
I
I,
was-
think
I
it's
was reading
kind of
through it.
warranted for what he said.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think a lot of it was just
As
obviously.
I was reading through it, I read through a little bit of this, and because I read on Kotaku, and I read this article, and then I read the linked Gizmodo article, which amazed me that Gizmodo is still going after this. How is Gorka not dead? I thought they were like
Yeah,
bankrupt or
they've
something.
bankrupt, but Kotaku's running still somehow. I don't know.
Who fucking knows? Probably owned by the fans. Who gives a shit? So I started reading Gizmodo's
No,
article.
Nathan Grayson's still posting articles. So it's definitely not the fans.
And
I don't like Nathan Grayson. I think he's awful.
so I'm reading through this thing, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. And apparently, he's made some kind of reaction.
Oh yeah.
To
So Nathan Grayson, if anyone doesn't know, he literally wrote an article about Heroes of the Storm characters were sexist or something like that.
Oh yeah, he was that person. Wasn't he?
clickbait master.
Yeah. Well, he works for Kotaku, so you know.
Feminist number one, well, feminazi number one.
Yeah,
Feminism.
SWJ. Yeah, I mean, having read through the article and having a look at some of the comments he'd been making on Twitter, I was very much like, oh, dude, Jontron, I kind of liked you, and now I'm really not sure. But
He hasn't actually straight. I feel like a lot of what he was saying was like a thought experiment. Like he wasn't. Like if you watch his video, like it just sounds like he was just like thinking.
I feel like
He was just trying. He was just countering people's
I feel
arguments.
like
going,
thought experiment is something you say when you fucked up and said something racist.
Nah,
but then
not
you're just
not
pretending
necessarily,
that it
because
wasn't.
someone who retweeted back to him was also doing the same thing.
Chris Reagan.
Yeah. I don't think they realised that Jontron was kind of... Like, obviously, this is his first time thinking about politics by the looks of it, and actually debating it.
I like the idea that he's going to come out and be like, ha, I got you media suckers. Here is the day.
Oh, that's what
he's doing a background video, and he's like, this is today's newspaper. This is the news. And he like,
Maybe.
does a bunch of stuff that proves, without a
He's
doubt...
just comparing news agencies.
Yeah, and he's just like, right, here's what the plan is, and there's a bunch of people that are in on it, like including Destiny, who's the guy coming off of this. Destiny could have been an excellent segue as well, because that's the guy I think he was mostly having a kind of back and forth with. He was debating with Destiny. So
Destiny is a huge Starcraft guy. And
He
we'll
is.
talk about Starcraft later in the podcast.
We are.
we're so good with the segues today.
Well, I'm not
Almost.
segueing right now.
Well, no, not right now. We're still talking about. The thing is, I don't think we need to talk much more about this.
I think make your own judgment. Look at all the content, make your own judgment.
All the
really.
time, you get these YouTubers who come and they go because they say stupid shit. I have been through possibly like 3 Tobuscus is a rapist kind of things.
He's still going strong though.
He's just moved over this thing that he's trying to really push called I'm Live on You Now or something, which I have no idea
No,
about.
I have no idea.
Do not follow him anymore.
Or every
Just
time I
see
see
it
one of his...
spammed in there.
sometimes I get recommended his video and it's just like, I have to say something. I click on it, and it's just like a normal vlog.
normal video, but it has one thumbnail.
A clickbait
Yeah.
title. And I'm like,
You've been clickbait.
I always go clickbait.
Yeah, I know.
I saw something cool the other day from PewDiePie. Weirdly enough,
What?
It's like him talking for 2 hours or something.
Yeah, I watched that.
One of his friends just says, "Can I just ask you off the cuff questions, and I don't want any of it to particularly be edited?" He's like, "Sure, I guess at some point." And he finally did it. It's like, this is a really weird video, but it makes you realise that most.
Did you watch the whole thing?
No, I got bored.
I watched the whole thing. I thought it was really interesting. Seeing how he's talking about how he had to like sign an illegal contract just to try and make money off YouTube, and this was kind of like his last ditch effort to try and make money. Like, wasn't it? There was like that H3 video where they were like, we were drug dealers for a short amount of time because we just couldn't afford to keep going on.
Some things that people have to do in
But
this world.
Anyway, to finish this off, they basically just said as a statement, Jontron is a talented video presenter.
This is
his
the one he works for or whatever. Like, he has an invested interest in.
This is Yooka-Laylee, the game, the upcoming collectathon by the ex-Rareware developers. I don't know what that company's called now, so I'm very sorry about that. But you can look it up. Everyone knows what Yooka-Laylee is, basically. It's hyped April release. So I'm definitely going to check it out when that comes out. But
with or without.
They said they made a decision to remove Jontron inclusion in the game via an update because they said we can't have someone in the game who doesn't represent our values because
regardless of whether he's telling the truth or not,
or you just argued things terribly.
Making this other kind of point doesn't really matter. It's the fact that
it's PR thing in the end, really.
Exactly. You don't want your game you're just about to release to be like, oh, that's got that guy in it who said those racist things.
Jontron.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something stupid like that. I mean, most people can separate artists from their art. Like, even if J.K. Rowling says a bunch of stupid stuff on Twitter, I still love Harry Potter. Exactly. I'm not going to stop liking them.
They're still human beings. You can still try and persuade them. You can still talk to them and try and change their opinion. Because I feel a lot of what Jontron said hasn't been... I feel like he from what he said, from how he says it, it doesn't seem like he's talked this about it, to his friends about it. And you just kind of get this instinct feeling that he hasn't put too much thought into it when he was debating it.
Hitler at least got the trains running on time, guys. Let's never forget that.
I thought that was time zones.
Oh, maybe.
That was close. They got trains running.
Didn't quite get the right uniform for invading Russia, though.
No, it was a bit wrong.
Okay, well, that's the end of it. So what I was going to talk about before Daniel segued was the Nintendo... the Nintendo DSi shop is shutting down. Looks like they're shutting down the DS shop.
Is this basically like their goodbye to DS, hello to Switch move?
Yeah, basically, this is what's happening.
This is how Nintendo informally end-of-life's a product. They basically can't actually say, we're no longer supporting this. They just say, we're going to support it slowly.
But I feel like, do they think they're being really sneaky? Because I just look at it and go, yeah, they're definitely doing that.
No, I don't think so.
They're just shutting it down buy the Switch, we're not supporting it. Fuck you.
It's pretty much that.
That's what I'm reading into this, between the lines.
The cartridges, you can't use DS cartridges in the Switch, right? Because...
Well, they supported the Game Boy Advance cartridges on the original DS, didn't they?
And I guess they're probably going to just reutilise a lot of the code that's for the Nintendo DSi shop for the Switch store or whatever.
Hey, you bought this emulation of this game on the DS, now buy it on the Switch.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah.
Buy it again.
I would like a Switch. I was very tempted to buy one. I'm holding off now until I come back on holiday, but really, I wanted one for
You could have taken it on
the plane. Yeah, I wanted to be playing. I've got
you could play Skyrim on the plane, they showed in the video.
8 hours and 40 minutes. I'm going to be stuck in a plane in economy or whatever. I could be playing through Zelda.
You could just pop out for a bit if you want.
That's cool. Just open the door.
I asked Tony if he wanted to get the Switch. I was like, it looks really cool. I want to play Zelda. And Tony was like, he's not interested.
I'm not a big fan of Zelda. I'd rather have more games on it first.
We never played Zelda growing up. No. Because we never had the consoles which had Zelda.
We didn't have the 64.
No, I never did either.
I've heard so many good things about the various Zelda stuff. I'm curious to get into it.
Yeah, but I believe in overhype.
For me and Emma, right, it's like we want to be able to do something together rather than just me sat on my PC.
Oh, 1-2 Switch.
Yeah,
Pay 40 quid for a Wii party game that should have come bundled into the device.
Yeah, it should have done. But something like that and something like the Mario Kart when that comes out for it or whatever. Is that a release title? I don't think it was, but
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
That's soon, though, right?
And not only that, when I'm really bored and I want to go to work and play games at lunchtime, I can just take this thing, plonk it down, and be like, cool, I can play a game. So
the Switch only has 3 hours of battery life.
Yeah, but I have a USB cable.
Okay.
And a battery.
It charges from the bottom as well, so you have to hold it. You can't put it in its stand while it's charging.
Really? It doesn't.
No, it's a USB Type C connector that goes into the bottom. So it's really fucking awkward. Nintendo does some right moves for this, and then it's like, oh, Nintendo, you've Nintendo'd it again.
They could have had it like a small SSD to plug into the back and have a huge amount of space. They could have made added peripherals so you could play DS games and things.
I don't think they were ever going to put an SSD into it. It would just be too expensive.
Even the really small ones, though, because those are still quite. But at least they could have added it as an option, though, and then you buy it through them.
Maybe. I'll wait for Switch 2 then, if it sounds like it's not going to be the greatest.
Switch 2.
Sounds like
Switch U.
Having it for that 8.5 hour flight wouldn't have been even that great, because I've been able to play for 3 hours and be like, cool, now I'm bored again.
Yeah, I mean, you can get battery banks, I think.
We've massively tangerined off the DSi store shutting down.
That's because the DSi store shutting down isn't as interesting as the Switch.
That's true.
Because the Switch store's not shutting down.
It's opening.
It's all Nintendo. So.
Yeah. Everything's Nintendo.
I mean, if you wanted to play Breath of the Wild, you can play it on the Wii U. And the Wii U is going to go down massively in price anyway. I know it's actually a lot of people's favourite consoles, but it was actually just marketed so poorly. Anyway, that was DSi shutting down. They said if you want to get stuff off the store, grab it quickly and download it to your device. Finally, there's the Gwent update. So Gwent has got the
card game.
Yeah. So do you know The Witcher 3?
Yep. I'm aware of it.
In The Witcher 3, they made a mini-game, which was a card game called Gwent.
Yeah.
And people loved it so much, they turned it into a standalone card game. So they're doing the positioning updates. The idea of the game is you have lanes, so you have melee, ranged, and siege, and you have to place them down. But now they're making it so you can choose where in the lane you put them. It doesn't just go automatically down. You can put it in the middle, you can put it to the left, you can put it to the right. So there's strategic placement of cards now.
I assume this is going to be must-have actual Witcher 3 in order to play Gwent, not just you can download and play Gwent if you buy Gwent.
What?
So you're saying is it going to be separate from Witcher 3?
Yeah, Gwent is standalone. You can play. Cool. You can play the closed beta right now. I have access to it.
That's cool.
It's really fun, and it's very high strategy game. It's not RNG.
It's actually really it's really
Hearthstone.
Okay,
I find it really fun to watch as well.
Is it? So it's quite streamable.
Yeah, I'd say. I haven't really seen anyone streaming it though.
But do you think it'll fall into the same kind of thing where you get with Hearthstone, it's only still really streamable because Blizzard release so many card packs all the time? Do they do the same thing with Gwent, or is it just very static?
Kind of a similar system where I don't know if they kind of got the base game so far.
I guess it's hard to say because it's not actually.
It's closed beta right
okay,
now.
That's
it's
true,
not in open beta. They've just updated it so you can do taunts similar to the Hearthstone stuff. So you can swagger, rage, menace, critique, praise, thanks. It's like the emotes basically, and they've redesigned the UI as well, make it all look good as well.
I still think the UI looks fantastic.
And they've added a board move history similar to Hearthstone as well, so you can see exactly what cards you played and what you did.
Why it died.
If you go because when you go AFK on Hearthstone, you go to the toilet, you can come back and go, oh, that's what my opponent did.
Oh, why's my board been suddenly all completely destroyed?
Yeah, well, I got an email recently saying they'd updated it, so I'll probably go back and check it out now.
Hearthstone?
No, Gwent. Well, Hearthstone's getting an update soon. They're releasing the Journey to Ongoro.
With the epic rap.
I'm waiting for the
Journey to Ongoro update.
I'm waiting for Blizzard to eventually give up and be like, do you know what? People just aren't interested in Hearthstone anymore because it's Hearthstone, and they'll be like, right, here's the Overwatch Hearthstone, and they just throw Overwatch characters in like, oh, okay.
Well, they did a Diablo Tavern Brawl where you could play as there was a mysterious traveller.
Oh, cool.
And you fought against the cow boss, which is the famous cow level from Diablo, and you got the Diablo card back. So they've shown in Tavern Brawl they are willing to implement other Blizzard titles into it. Whether they'll do that again, only time will tell. But
I mean, you can
When they run out of Warcraft content, I feel like they
See
will.
the Hearthstone you want.
I'm sorry. They're re-releasing Hemet Nezarari. It's really bad.
Hemet Nesingwearing. He's like supposed to be Ernest Hemingway, right? He's got a big gun. Yeah. Not big game.
He's a hunter.
Yeah.
But he was like a really bad card in Goblins and Gnomes, and I'm so excited because they're re-releasing him in this expansion.
Can't wait.
With a different effect.
Is it going to be equally bad?
It's kind of
effect?
So he was like, I think it was either 5 or 6 mana, 6/3 that destroyed a beast, and it was so situational. It was just really bad
really
with a really bad stat line.
Big game hunter or sport.
But now he's a 6 mana 6/6 that destroys all cards in your deck that cost 3 or less.
What?
So at first you go, oh, that's really bad. He's like milling my entire deck. But when you think about it, if you're playing a light game, if you're playing like a combo deck where most of your 0 to 3 drops are just drawing cards, or if you're playing a deck with lots of high cost minions, you can pretty much just get rid of like top decking a 1-drop, and you can keep getting big cards again. So I think it's actually a really interesting card for strategy, but it also, you
get closer to dying from milling
it,
yourself.
it also has like quite a big negative effect.
Jesus.
I'm glad they kept the flavour of Nemeth being a kind of shit card.
He's better, but he's still a little
I think
bit
it's
shit.
got potential to be really good. I think the best comparison is Thaurissan, where Thaurissan reduces all the mana cost in your hand. It's really good, but that's getting rotated out in standard, and now
There's
Hemet
another card that did that.
does what?
That reduced the cost of each of your cards by 1 each turn or something.
There's Shadow Fiend and Priest that reduces it when you draw it.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It's been ages since I played.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's the Gwent. And also in the Gwent modding news, someone modded the new Gwent standalone game into The Witcher 3. So now we have Gwentception. Gwent's been taken out of The Witcher 3, turned into its own separate board game, and then modded back into The Witcher 3.
The better version
The
of
better
Gwent
version
into
of Gwent.
the original Witcher 3.
So, yeah. So that was just the news section. So have you been watching or playing anything? You want to talk about Bejeweled? Something?
Bejeweled?
Yeah!
Why do you want to talk about Bejeweled?
So every so often I get really bored and I'm sat around and I'm like, I need to play some kind of game, but the only thing I have on me is my mobile phone. So recently I thought, I'm going to binge. I'm going to have a look and see what kind of really shitty kind of games I can find to play. And I found Bejeweled and I was like, holy shit, Bejeweled's on iPhone. How did I not think of this before?
Is it... Which one? Because I played Bejeweled Blitz.
There's 3.
Okay.
So there is classic Bejeweled, which is like Bejeweled 2, like directly ported to your phone, but you have to pay for get the whole thing, which pretty much fine with.
It's no Bejeweled 3.
There's Bejeweled Blitz, which is, as you know, 1 minute.
It's just,
so
you 60 second as quick as possible.
Yeah. Oh,
I
right.
don't really like that mode.
And then lastly, there's this new one, which is Bejeweled Stars, which takes the kind of like Panda Pop element, which is
The
where
Candy
you've got
Crush.
you've got all these little islands you've got to go through, and each time there's a different objective, and there are power-ups there, which you can create just like you normally can with Bejeweled, or alternatively, you can pay to make instant power-ups, which are obviously...
Microtransactions.
Yeah, I know, it's the novel thing. But what I did kind of like is... It's not so much microtransaction, but with like these things with, say, Panda Pop and Candy Crush, the idea is you get to a point and it's like, you've used your 5 lives, cool, now you either have to ask your friends for more lives and spam the shit out of people on Facebook, which everybody hates, right? This still does that, so I ain't defending it for her. But what it does let you do is, instead of saying, you must have seen this more, you say, watch this video and get an extra life, right? And you just put it on, you don't really pay attention to it, then close it once it's done, and you get another life. They let you do that as many times as you like, so you can basically never run out of lives by just constantly rewatching videos, which I'm totally cool with if I'm sat there, bored out of my mind, like, I'm going to finish this level because I fucking love Bejeweled. So I've been playing that and Overwatch because I have been playing with Orisa ready for today when, like, whatever time Blizzard arbitrarily chooses, she will be allowed in the competitive scene. And I may finally get into Platinum. Not likely.
Have you done your placements for this season?
Yeah, didn't go well.
Okay.
It was poor.
I
won 6, lost 4, but they were all sporadic, right? So there's no build-up of, you've done really well. And I got, like... mixed in at 2-2-2-2 or something weird like that, and I was like, this isn't going to go well, and then played and immediately lost 3 and was like, Down to 200. Like 2,000.
Unlucky.
Yeah. I mean, I don't play it as much anymore. I love the game still, and I love the fact that they're adding all these cool new characters. I think Arisa's really cool. I was playing her in the PTR. She's a really cool anchor tank. Like, what a weird term. Thanks, Blizzard.
It makes sense though because she has very low mobility.
Yeah. She's not going to replace Reinhardt, right? Because he can move his ginormous fucking 2 billion health shield, whereas she's only got 900. And he can actually physically move his and use melee, whereas she's like medium to long range with shield she can put up and CC immunity in Overwatch, which is weird. Like, hammer down, no thanks. That I didn't think that CC immunity was something that Overwatch would ever actually...
Well, they added silence with Sombra.
Yeah, this is where it started to kind of blur the lines for me. Stuff like...
MOBAs?
Yeah, MOBAs and also stuff like that, where you get like these characters that could do CC. Like, well, that makes sense because it's lanes and whatever else. But when it's first-person one, it makes it so much more different because situationally you can tell, I guess, when you can see all the other players on a screen from top down, and you know they've got to have their ultimate at this point. I'm going to be able to use my CC immunity to stop this. And I think that's much harder in a first-person game. Like, to be able to just say...
You just need Sombra on your team assuming their ults are up.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But then you have Sombra on your team.
And then you lose.
Yeah.
You get Widowmaker and Sombra on your team and you lose.
And Hanzo. Hands up. So
it's like if it's like my good friend Jeff Kaplan says in those edited videos, if you play Hanzo, kill yourself. You should suck on my Lingjong Tower.
That sounds a great video. Who makes this? Like dinosaurs?
Dino Flask.
That's the one.
Is the guy.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. Like the one that's just like, I was there at the company party rolling. I put my head between my legs and rolled around like Junkrat's Ultimate. It's just like, what the fuck? Yeah, so I've been playing Overwatch. I've been playing with Arisa. I think she's pretty cool. They've made a whole bunch of other tweaks. Bastion's still OP.
Still?
Yeah.
Since last time?
Yeah, Bastion's still
Nerf Bastion, please. I like how the 2 consecutive champion updates have been my most hated characters in the game. Sombra and Bastion. Not Sombra, Symmetria, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Don't like Symmetria.
Yeah.
She's fucking annoying to play against.
I played an okay game like that. I think Blizzard's serious problem is, if you want me to stop picking a character that can hold a choke point really well, stop making maps that have a single fucking choke point.
I think
like, Eichenwald. One big archway, that's your way in. Off you go. Hanamura, here's your big old archway.
They added the extra door to Eichenwald, didn't they? They had an extra entrance to Eichenwald.
Did they?
Yeah.
Where?
It's like on the... Is it on the left now? Or I think there's an extra door. I'd have to look it up, but they've had an extra entrance.
I mean, I am missing a trick if this is the
Okay.
case. There's another fucking door over here.
Oh,
guys.
what do you think of Lucio's update?
Oh, that's really cool.
But he's not a healer anymore. He's more like
he's still a healer, but he's
a ranged DPS.
Yeah, he's still a ranged DPS. He's
a shitty one.
He's like no, because like they nerfed his overall healing range, but
they made him faster so he can run around being more useful.
Getting in the way of more nano boosts. But like he's quick when he jumps off walls. I think that's pretty cool because they didn't. I don't think they intended Lucio's wall riding kit to be as weird and overused as it actually is. And now they have. They're trying to really play it
overused.
Up.
I mean,
Overwatch.
No, I mean like.
I mean, I'm just going.
But below like fucking Platinum, I don't think I've ever seen a Lucio wall ride.
But if you watch the good, like the DPS stankies of the world or whatever, they're pretty good running along a wall, just not have it look like they're going.
Yeah, he moves like 30% faster wall riding, and he gets like a massive boost
every time
when he jumps off
the wall. Now he gets a speed boost, so you can like basically CS:GO surf your way through maps,
which is pretty cool. Yeah. I kind of like the idea with the custom map browser that we're going to just get surf Hanamura,
and I like the fact that he's got they drastically reduced his range of healing. But they've made it so that he heals stronger, like 50% faster healing rate and ambit up rate than before.
Yeah.
But in a smaller area, which I think is cool because it means that it actually forces idiot people who are like, I'm not getting any heals, to actually say, you need to get closer to this dude because he's the healer.
XXX. I need healing! I need healing! Yeah. So what I'm going to say about Overwatch?
That was it?
I bought my Golden Tracer guns.
Wow.
Why?
Why wouldn't I?
Do you main Tracer?
I've played so much Tracer.
Oh, okay.
It's my main character.
I thought it was Harambe.
Yeah, Harambe as well. I don't think I think the golden gun looks good on his snowplower on his Yeti skill.
Yeah, that is cool.
I mean, I made sure when I
I
made sure when
so funny today.
I made sure when the Year of the Rooster update came out, I bought the Wukong skin.
Yeah, I didn't like the Wukong skin. I like
the flavour because he's Wukong, god of the monkeys.
I think Diva's Year of the Rooster skin's really cool. I like that. That was pretty awesome.
Anyway, I think that's all we've got to say about Overwatch. I was going to say about Bejeweled 3. The only there has so many modes. There's like poker, spider mode, mining mode,
or whatever. Yeah,
it's crazy.
You still get those on these, but they like slowly, obviously, introduced the butterflies. That was another one.
Butterflies on Bejeweled 3.
Yeah,
like the only thing I see about this new Bejeweled game is like I would only play it if I couldn't play Bejeweled 3. Like, there's no point for me to play it on the phone.
If you're sat on a train going somewhere and you want to play Bejeweled, sure, that's what its purpose is for. And it's obviously it's EA PopCap because
I wanted to say I'm really disappointed that EA bought PopCap, and so really far they have taken
Zombies ruined.
Garden Warfare is actually not that bad.
The first game was okay. The second one was just more of the same, but wasn't.
So Garden Warfare is not that bad, but I really enjoyed the first Plants vs Zombies. I think the second one was like on iOS and stuff and microtransactions.
No, I think it's still pretty good.
So there is a Peggle 2, but it's an Xbox One exclusive, loaded through the mouth of microtransactions. It's got a really shitty art style. And then there's Bejeweled, where that's a dead game as well.
It is, but it's still a great game. I like Bejeweled.
It's dead. It's dead on the PC.
Do you need a new game though? Like, does it not do everything you want it to do?
Bejeweled. I just wanted to make a sequel. I want more.
You just want more stuff.
More interesting levels.
I want more. Like, I think Peggle, you can make tons of new levels and stuff and new characters.
Because not only that, Peggle and Bejeweled are not the kind of games where you're like, where are they going to go with the story, guys? It's a case of what weird levels can they come up with that I have to
what new game
like Peggle Knights was like, yes, Jimmy Lightning's dreaming of winning a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you have to do Nobel Prize levels.
It's just weird, but it was cool.
Yeah, it was you remember that free Peggle game, the Half-Life one? The Peggle Extreme, where you just played through Valve levels. Where they made they had a cooperation with Valve where they made Peggle, I think it's Peggle Extreme, where you could do Peggle levels on like sentry turrets in Portal and Half-Life headcrabs and that sort of stuff, and it was really fun. Really enjoyed that.
Pebble's just really fun.
Actually, one of the first games I ever attempted to make. Do you remember Scratch? The game making tool that we used to learn programming at school. Me and Irvins, we programmed our own platform. We used Scratch to make Gravity, and it was like a platform game where you went around and jumped as a head crab. You were a head crab platforming, which I thought was pretty cool. But
12.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We programmed Gravity into Scratch, which was really cool. I thought at the time. I think those kind of programs are really good ways to get kids into programming and stuff.
And physics.
Yeah, and physics. You love physics, don't you, Tony?
That's one thing I actually did at
What have you been playing this week? Space Engineers?
I get my hair off of Space Engineers, actually.
Oh, you're getting your methadone.
But I'm actually... I don't want to mention... I don't want to talk about Space Engineers. I don't want to mention that I'm hyped for the new Stellaris DLC coming out.
Is it more April. Plant People?
No. They are changing stuff.
Plant People was the last DLC, wasn't it?
No.
Well, I thought there was a Plant People
There was a Plant People thing very quickly after the game was launched. Okay. Then they brought out more stories through when you play the game, and now they're bringing out more end game content. I'm super hyped for that, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, I will say I played a little bit of Overwatch, actually. I literally just played Arisia before the podcast, because I haven't really touched it yet. Because I was playing WoW, because the new patch is coming out, 7.2. They were like, oh yeah, this patch is huge. It's going to completely change the game. We're going to go to the Broken Isles. The Tomb of Sargeras is coming out. And it's just like, oh yeah, that'll come out this summer in June or July. And then Blizzard's like, it's coming out in 3 days. And everyone went crazy. So that patch is coming out literally today, around maintenance time. So...
all things that go with Blizzard today, then.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's early hours of the morning, so probably tomorrow.
You'll be up.
Yeah, I'll be right. I want to say I've still been watching the Twitch Power Rangers. So do you know the new Power Rangers film?
Yeah.
So they did a special promotion with Twitch where they got all like 800 episodes of Power Rangers, from the original TV series to the current day one, and they've been live streaming them on Twitch with Twitch chat, and it was pretty funny. It's kind of promotional thing for the new Pirate Rangers. Sorry, Power Rangers film where they were like, oh yeah, when you finish watching this, then 2
It's
for
doing
1.
really good at the box office. It's like
Is
taken
it?
40 million already.
They've put so much money into merchandising because they've done this. They've got this whole huge brand deal with Twitch, right? And they've used influencers. So they've paid everyone on Twitch to stream their Android iOS game, where it's kind of like a fighting game with Power Rangers, and you control it. So you swipe backwards and forwards to go forward and back, and you use abilities. And it's
Do you actually use a gun in that?
You're loaded through. I think you can get a gun. Like you can get
yeah.
assists, so you can get different Power Rangers to help you, or you can get like bad guys to help you. And actually, looks like a pretty legit iOS fighting game for like what it is, like a mobile fighting game. It looks pretty okay. But they're getting paid like $1,000 per hour to stream this game, basically.
Well, we've got Power Rangers now, and then we've got Transformers 5 this year.
Oh god! Please don't
mention that ever again.
He's already signed up to do 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Is Michael Bay still directing?
Yeah, of course he is. Hasbro.
I'd love to see Shia LaBeouf return. That would be so good.
Like
After
the last film, he just strides over Megatron's corpse like, "It was mine. It was me all along."
Sam Witwicky.
He's not Megatron anymore. He's Galvatron.
Yeah.
No.
No, he's
He's man more shit.
The last of the prime.
He was so much cooler when he was Megatron.
Why are they ruining so many loved franchises with shitty films?
He was saying something I completely interrupted.
You said it's doing good with the Power Rangers at the box office. I've heard
I think so.
I've heard it's getting really bad reviews.
Oh yeah.
I look up a lot of Power Rangers
There
because I want to see what series it's on.
you go.
40.5 million weekend.
Already?
Yeah.
I think if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like
But that's not much money they're making then.
Doromete.
It's called Saban's Power Rangers, and it's got 47% freshness.
But 81% of the audience liked it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's
That's
crazy.
the thing that you find with the tomatometer, though, is like,
Well,
here are the people that write decent reviews, and you're like, cool, they hated it. And then you see, here are the audience that actually went and saw it, and they're like, that's the best thing ever! Because they're all people who grew up with Power Rangers.
Like,
To be fair, I want to watch it.
I saw the trailer, and I was like, this film looks like garbage, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I thought but I still want to watch it.
And I was like, I want to go see this because giant Megazord that's basically like Transformers. Let's see how they cock this up.
I thought, like, do you see the pink girl in her suit?
Yeah.
It looked awful like that. And then I was like, well, how the hell did they wrote Bryan Cranston being like
a lot of
the
money
alien guy?
and
Like,
Twitch Prime.
The lore of Power Rangers is very confusing.
Yeah.
They're like
Is it all canon
aliens.
still? Is
I
it
don't know.
like every...
There's been so many different seasons I've seen. Like, there's Power Rangers in space.
Power Rangers Turbo.
I will say...
Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah,
That's the most
I will
normal
say
one, though.
Twitch Power Rangers, not Twitch, Power Rangers Time Force is a legit season. It's really good. They go back in time and do shit.
Don't you talk about the black and the white Ranger. Who just appear out of nowhere in certain episodes sometimes. They're like...
I think the original Yellow Ranger died, actually.
Probably. Who knows? There's the
No,
Pink Ranger.
people were posting that the original Yellow Ranger, she died in like a car crash or something. So what they've done is they've actually gone through all of the Power Rangers now. They've gone through all seasons. Big marketing deal to build hype for the film. And something that's really funny is every time on Twitch you can take what's called a Twitch clip. Do you remember when we talked about Oddshot?
Yeah, I know what Twitch clips are. I've seen them.
Okay, so you can take a clip of a stream and upload it. And what they were doing throughout it, they were going, you should clip like funny parts and share it with us and we'll show it. And they did like a demo one where they show like a guy rolling down a hill continuously. And people are like, it's kind of funny. And every time Twitch was like, clip the clip. Because then when they play our clip, then we'll clip the clip again. So people started clipping the clip, and then after the final episode, they just kept showing the same clip over and over again. Like, we clipped the clip, Twitch chat. This is what you wanted, and they just kept showing it over and over again. It's like, clip the clip. Feels good, man.
I feel like such abuse as well. It's like, what do you do? What have you done? I've made clips. How many? 800. What do you mean 800? I've just made every
clipped
individual
the clip.
episode.
Every time they play my clip, I clip the clip.
It's a
So
clever
I
idea.
think finally they've gone through all of them, and now they're re-airing the original series one more time, and then that's kind of their last plateau.
You're going to have to pirate it normally after this.
You'll have to go back and get your Power Rangers fixed somewhere else.
I don't know what episode they're on, but
I don't know, but that.
they're showing the
You've
best.
still got the clickbait videos on your...
Yeah, I do. The best clips of the marathon. That's what they're showing now. Clip the clip, guys. Clip the clip. Anyway, so that's what I've been watching. Power Rangers. Oh, board game. So we're now going to sell Eldritch Horror.
Which is interesting because I've not played this. My friend owns Eldritch Horror. The board itself, for the board game I have seen, I know it takes up more than a table's worth of space.
Well, sort of.
It's just a hilarious amount of cards and board and counter stuff you need to do.
Yeah.
I'm really
Because each boss has his own different cards.
Yeah, I'm super excited to play this, but I have to admit I have absolutely no idea how it works, what the premise is. So
we didn't either for quite a while playing it. It was like 2.5 hours in, and then we were like, we're kind of getting it. Wait, how many turns did we do in 2.5 hours? Like
2.5 hours. We took longer than that, didn't we? 3 hours in total, right?
Fucking hell.
But how many turns did we do?
Like 10.
Yeah, maybe. Basically, Andy said to us a couple of weeks ago, Eldritch Horror, you want to play it? And I was like, do you own Eldritch Horror? And he's like, no, I'll just get it. And I was like, okay. So he gets Eldritch Horror.
£40 board
and then 2
game.
weeks later he just shows up and he's like, let's play it. And I'm like, okay. So he played through it once with his girlfriend Molly. And then we went through it and Andy was explaining it all to us, which was nice because I definitely wouldn't.
I feel like you have to watch someone explain it
You
while
need someone
playing it.
You really want someone who's
Yeah,
played it
okay.
once before you show it to anyone
I don't know
new,
how-
especially if they're not board game savvy.
Yeah.
I definitely think our parents could play it.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely think.
Mum?
They might not be making
No.
the right decisions, but they can still play it.
Yeah. Okay.
So you each get given a character. You can choose one. So I was Charlie fucking Kane. I was the politician.
Nice.
So my special ability was that I had high influence, which I'll
And high
explain
will.
later. And basically what I could do is I would go to towns, acquire weapons, and I could instantly trade them to anyone. So I was kind of like the guy who had high
You're a
influence.
gunsmith.
I was like the
Well,
financer.
He just ended up just being the guy with the double-barrel shotgun, though. Just going.
Yeah,
shooting
I was
stuff.
kind of like a preacher because at one point I had holy water, a cross, and a shotgun. So there's 4 bosses. Each are like ancient Lovecraftian kind of monsters.
Cthulhu
We
style.
played against Cthulhu.
I chose Cthulhu for us.
I don't know. I think Cthulhu's one of the harder bosses.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh, we're going to beat Cthulhu." And Andy was like, "We've been playing on easy mode. I didn't know there was a hard mode, so we were playing Cthulhu on easy mode." So basically,
I think we were playing on easy mode.
What
Because there's three card sets to for the random
what
events.
character were you playing?
I don't remember the name.
You don't
I was
remember the name.
I was playing an ex-cultist and I was playing a Chinese fighter.
We'll get to that later. But basically, what happens is when you spawn in certain cities. So Charlie Kane spawns in San Francisco, and what happens is quests are. No, it's not called quests. It's called clues. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you need to collect 4 clues to solve a mystery. Is it always 4 clues, or is it just
It depends.
So
there's mysteries
there's
to
a
solve. You need to solve 3 mysteries to defeat the boss.
Cthulhu? So every time,
Is it Scooby in the gang?
Yeah.
Mystery
kind
machine.
of, yeah.
Okay.
But you can get killed, devoured, sent to a different world.
I don't remember the
Corrupted.
episode of Scooby-Doo.
So you want
It's
to.
like the really
so
18
every
plus.
time you take it, you get an action. So you can take a turn. So you can move. You can roll for assets in a city.
Yeah, well, I think probably
To
should start
acquire
from the start.
assets.
Each turn there's 3 phases. There's the action phase, the encounter phase, and the mythos phase.
Yeah.
So you go in order. So every player does the action phase, and then you switch to the next phase. Then
So
everyone
if
does
you're
that.
on a tile that has a monster on it, then in the encounter phase you would fight it.
Yeah.
Or in the encounter phase you can choose to do an encounter on like San Francisco. So you can go to a bookstore in San Francisco and you found an ancient tome basically, and you have to roll for lore to see if you're able to read the book and gain that spell. Like I like one of my encounters was I stumbled across a bookstore and I rolled to see if I get it because you have to roll a 5 or a 6. And then I rolled like a 2 or something. It's like, I can't fucking read. I'm not going to be able to understand these books.
You walked into the bookstore, rolled for lore, didn't know anything, and walked out.
Hello, I'd like to read a book. Which one, sir? Don't fucking talk to me. So I'm off.
So basically, you're trying to solve these 3 mysteries because every time you advance, you have what's called a doom counter.
Okay.
So I think Cthulhu starts at 12.
Right. It's very similar. So there's a game called Fury of Dracula. So that's the same sort of thing. So it's a bunch of people against Dracula.
Yeah.
Dracula just has to survive a certain amount of time, which moves up his counter. He gets that, he wins. Otherwise, the other people have to kill him.
No, when you get to the doom counter, it summons Cthulhu.
Oh, okay.
That's not the end game. The end game is when all your characters die.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for Cthulhu to kill you when he's summoned.
So you're desperately trying to solve these mysteries before Cthulhu is summoned, because when he gets summoned, a bunch of negative effects happen.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're trying to solve these mysteries before Cthulhu spawns. If he does spawn, I can't remember what he does. He adds. You have so
you lose sanity.
Your characters have health and sanity as a stat.
A bit like amnesia.
Yeah, and you can either die.
So if you lose all your health,
I just need to take some laudanum.
If you lose all your health, your character dies, and if you lose all your sanity, your character goes insane, and you have to get a new one. Oh. You can't use a character.
You can't keep using your insane character. Like,
no.
I roll for 5 hours.
No, if your character loses all of its sanity, it's basically like dying.
Yeah, okay.
But what happens when you die is that you don't stop playing the game. You become a new character until you run out of characters.
And you can go and pick up the items from what you.
So
dropped.
You can go and pick up the items.
But it takes actions.
You have to get there.
Actions to move it. Then during the encounter phase, you have to then encounter the dead or insane character.
Assumably, I don't think he explains. Cthulhu isn't played by a character. He's played by cards. Like he's
played by random cards. Okay, so you go like
he's RNG.
So
Cthulhu.
every time there's a mythos phase, you draw a mythos card after the first initial phase, and I'll go spawn. Monster Cthulhu encounters on every sea space that doesn't already have one on.
So it's I don't think we've covered this on the podcast yet, and we probably should do. So it's cooperative.
Yeah, it's cooperative.
So Pandemic is a game about an outbreak of a super virus across the world. You are a team of people trying to cure it.
That is a game I really want to play.
So Pandemic, I'll borrow it off someone next time. And
we actually played it outside in the gazebo, first time.
Nice.
And it wasn't too bad. We had to put up the anti-wasp bee net.
Yeah, it was black and yellow. You know what it is.
So that was pretty good. I mean, so just to give you some context, the table outside wasn't that big, so I think it was okay, but I definitely think you can't play this board game on a small space.
You need a dining room.
You need a proper dining room table to play it.
So basically, what happened was that we solved clues.
We solved.
How do you solve clues? Is that just
you go there. So you take an action to move there, and in the encounter phase, you encounter the clue, and if you beat the encounter, you get the clue token, and then you spend the clue tokens to solve the mystery.
We had 3 mysteries. The first one is it put random Eldritch tokens onto the map. You move to it, solve that encounter. If you succeed, you move that token to the mystery.
What does solving an encounter mean? Is it just rolling dice?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
and it's based on your stats.
Okay.
And so you can get items to increase it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where the element comes in.
There's a lot of preparing and then doing it.
So I had Holy Water, which was in a single combat phase, because you fight monsters as well, and it's based on your how much health, sanity, and attack you have. And you could either use the Holy Water to give you a massive boost of 5 will and 5 attack, or you could discard it and you would get the card called Blessed. And I think Blessed are all exactly the same. So Blessed makes you immune to some of the effects because you're blessed. And it also means on rolls, instead of having to roll a 5 or a 6, you can also roll a 4. Okay. So you can increase your odds through items.
I think, for example, if you're rolling for influence and it says you've got 3 influence, you roll 3 dice. Sometimes you only need to get 1 dice to be 5 or 6, or sometimes you need against monsters you might need more.
So Charlie Kane, to do encounters to acquire assets, you have to roll for influence. He starts with 4 influence, and then he gains the card Personal Assistant, which gives him another influence. So I can roll 5 dice to try and buy items, and then each one of them that hits 5 or higher is how much money I can spend on acquiring items.
That's cool. So the end game is basically stopping Cthulhu from being spawned, or beating Cthulhu?
You really want to stop him from being spawned. The game changes when he spawns. But the idea overall is the end game is solving 3 mysteries.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's still the final goal, even when Cthulhu's
going through the 3 mysteries we did, the first mystery was we just had to go to the Eldritch tokens
and get 4.
Complete 4 of those. That then switched to the next mystery, which was kill a big like I think it's like an epic monster.
It's spawned like an epic monster on the map, so it's not always collecting clues.
And then
each mystery does something different to complete it.
And then the last mystery was it moved every single clue to the ocean, and then you had to then only using those clues to put them on top of the.
So you
the
could have
mystery
acquired
to solve it.
clues beforehand, and so at that point it means we couldn't use those clues, but. You can also use clues to re-roll a single dice as well.
Okay.
So if you
collect
collect clues,
that's crap in your hand, you're basically saying, "I'm going to re-roll this."
Well, when you have 9 clues,
So I had like 4 clues, and then I got an artifact that instantly gave me 5 clues.
but we couldn't
and
use
it
it for
also-
the mystery.
And yeah, because the mystery had to come from the
Ocean or whatever.
the ocean that you got it from. But it allowed me to use my clues as well as re-rolling dice because I had a bunch of them now, and they weren't that useful. It allowed me to use once per round to use the clue to prevent someone from losing sanity.
Yeah. Okay, I think I like the idea of it. I think it's pretty much sold to me. It's very similar to Pandemic. Pandemic's like, at first I thought it was a roll and move kind of game, but it's not. Like, from what you've described, it's more like the mini game in itself is rolling. It's
but it's more preparing to try and get more
Kings
stats.
King of New York's got a similar sort of thing where you can roll a certain number of dice, see how much your attack is, and then you may choose to remove 2 of those dice to re-roll the ones which have already been rolled, so you get better stats, stuff like that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. Pandemic's very similar. Pandemic is, you work as a team, you talk to each other, you only have 4 moves each turn that you can choose to move, cure a thing, do something specific to you, build research stations, and you're all the time trying to collect enough cards to solve this outbreak of this horrible virus, whilst at the same time not ignoring the fact that, Jesus Christ, guys, there's like 4 cities over here that are just going to outbreak, and then suddenly the entire population of the world's dead, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty tricky, but Pandemic sounds very similar. I think you sold it to me.
So one thing that can happen when you die, which you can go over, you can collect items from your body, but your character can be devoured. So monsters can eat your body, and you lose those.
Oh,
items.
okay, that's interesting.
And
because it sounds like compared to Pandemic, after you play it for a few times, I think can sometimes get a bit stale because the only thing you can do to increase it is add more outbreaks, make it harder.
I don't think this would ever be boring.
But Eldritch Horror sounds like there are so many items.
Well,
there's twice.
Each boss has their own unique mysteries and events, and then you don't have to have the same mysteries or events when you use them either.
There's 4 bosses. Each of them have like random, mysteries.
Yeah.
There's also a hard mode you can play them on, and then when they spawn, they have different effects.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, there's a bunch of items. There's artifacts you can get. There's a bunch of encounters you can do. There's different encounters based on what tiles you're stood on.
There's also a magic. There's
expansion.
There's a magic system as well for spells.
Oh, there's gates as well. So sometimes on like the chaos phase, what's it called?
Well, the mythos phase.
No, after the mythos.
That is the last phase.
No, it's not.
It's action, event, and then mythos.
No, but there's the red one. What's that called?
Well, when you turn the thing at the end.
Yeah.
That's just that tells you when to move it at the mythos phase.
Because there's like a chaos phase where it's like, oh, okay, every like zombie on the board now becomes a horde of zombies.
Yeah, that says it on the mythos thing. That tells you what to do.
Very similar to a cross-team Pandemic at a game that we haven't gone through before because I don't own it, but I should probably buy it called Wizard Academy, where you play as a bunch of people who have special abilities, and like there's this magic crystal in the center of your board. You've got to try and get to it and fix the magic crystal.
What's wrong with it?
It's broken, and if it breaks,
Who broke
then
it?
the magical floating Hogwarts will fall to the ground and kill everybody, and you really don't want to break it.
Why did they build it floating?
It also puts fires out or something. It's weird.
It's like when I first played Eldritch Horror, it really confused me because I haven't played a cardboard game before, and I looked at my ability. I was like, why the hell would I want to give other people my items? Like, oh wait, I'm working with them in this game.
Yeah, take this. It's crap. Wait, no, I'm supposed to give you the good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's
instrumental.
So it's So you want to keep solving mysteries, but you also want to stop monsters from taking over the board.
Yeah.
And also, there's these things called gate spawn, which if you don't close them, they'll keep spawning.
So that's similar to
the gates.
Wizard Academy. It's the same sort of thing where these portals can open.
Yeah.
If there's a portal open, imps can come in. If you don't kill the imps,
Well,
they'll hurt you.
It's worse than that in this, because if you at the end, if the Mythos card you pick up tells you to like move like the doom, not the doom counter, like I can't remember what it is, like the stars counter basically. And then if what it moves to, if any of the gates match that icon,
They also then spawn more monsters.
No, it moves the doom counter closer to 0, which is just
What were
closer to
those things
Cthulhu.
called? It's not mysteries, but there were like tasks on the board where every time it went round that you didn't solve it, it started removing all the 6-cost weapons from the game.
Oh, that was to do with the specific mystery. Oh no, that was a rumor.
Yeah, rumours. So there's rumours as well.
It spawned one of the Mythos cards spawned a rumor.
So rumours as well have special effects
Yeah.
that if you don't deal with them, will start fucking you over. So every time we didn't solve the rumour, basically it took all 6-cost weapons from the deck. It took all 5-cost weapons. It took
We
all
had
4-cost
two at
weapons
the
from
same
deck.
time. One we had to kill a really strong monster, which would if you had
think
4
6
monsters
was
onto
the
it,
max.
it would
It might be less.
Cthulhu would spawn. The other one was you had to solve it using lore to try and it just slowly got rid of all the weapons in the game.
I think we only had 2-cost weapons left.
Yeah.
Or 3-cost.
I think it was just 2 and 1s we had left.
That sounds cool. It's made me think of a whole bunch of board games which, Tony, you should write down that I shall cover at
Tony,
some
write
point.
them down.
Write these down immediately on your special piece of
Okay.
paper.
On his time-stamped scraps.
Wizard Academy.
Wizard Academy.
Wiz War.
What?
Wiz War.
What? Just in
Just Wiz War.
You whiz
Pandemic.
everywhere. The Dracula one.
Patchwork.
what about wait?
Fury of Dracula.
Fury of Dracula.
Can I write Furry of Dracula?
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
Thanks.
And again, we'll cover those at a
So,
later date in
if
time.
you're interested in Eldritch Horror card games, Daniel says these sound similar. Check these out as well.
Well, no, Patchwork doesn't sound similar at all. But
Okay, don't play
Other than
Patchwork. It's
no,
not
Patch is a
lit.
great
It's
game.
shit.
No, Patchwork's a great game, but it's only 2-player.
Okay.
It's just because it's cooperative. It suddenly popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Okay, so you're sold on that board game already.
I am.
We always sell people on board games.
We
on
do.
this
To be fair, Eldritch Horror.
It's like board
look-
games.
We
Dog
don't.
push.
It's-
We don't.
look
We don't.
fantastic
Actually,
and
I
stuff.
think I made sure Tony didn't get sold on shit charades.
No, I hate charades to begin with. That
Yeah.
Play-Doh one we played was a great.
Rapido.
We played Rapido.
That's a great
and
way
we
to do
played-
charades.
We played Eldritch Horror and then immediately played Rapido and Pointless the board game.
Which I didn't
Nice.
Yeah.
Ticket to Ride. We should cover that
Ticket
as well
to
at
Ride.
some point.
like. Is that
Is
the
that
train?
the train one?
Yeah.
I've played
the
that
train
one.
game.
You sure you haven't already sold this to me before?
I don't think I've sold you the train game.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
Who
I
knows? Maybe. We'll check the show
mean,
docs.
start writing them down.
Yeah. There's too many board games. Anyway.
Do you want to talk about any of the stuff we got left, or are you going off?
Alright,
Daniel's going off now, so- Are you going to Barbados?
Yeah, so the next time that you will hear me, I will be back from the sunny, sandy beaches
next
of
week-
Barbados.
Presume that we've made a joke that Daniel died in Barbados.
Probably. I was probably on the plane which Peter Molyneux was on that I crashed into.
I
Chris
pray to
Tarrant.
God that Peter Molyneux doesn't die in a plane crash. I'm not worried about you, but if we lost, if we lost,
We lost
Peter,
Peter. All hope is lost.
all right, goodbye.
Don't let the captain play the Nintendo Switch and crash the plane.
Is that a Switch? No, get back in
They've
the
got
cockpit.
autopilot, Tony. They can play the Switch. So we're looking at GOG Galaxy now because they've just had their biggest update since the end of the beta. So they're having GOG Galaxy 1.2, and with the GOG Galaxy 1.2, they're bringing Universal Cloud Save, which is really cool. You can, take your saves with you everywhere. The option to fully customize the client to your needs.
I feel like that's to me kind of more interesting to see how you can fully customize it. Like, I'm interested to see what you can do with that.
The thing I was really excited for was that they finally fully updated the chat features, and they have added a native frame counter,
You can
frame rate counter. Sorry,
because you said it was really good for just like tracking performance
because
between
on
games.
the thing I use the most on Steam is I permanently have the frame rate tracker on Steam because it's this little grey number at the top left corner. I can't see it unless I'm looking for it because
Right.
I always have it on. It's not like Fraps where you have like giant yellow,
Yeah.
fucking numbers on your screen if you have it on, but I'd always leave it on my game, so you can probably see it in Spotlight as well, because I never turn it off, but I don't see it anymore unless I'm looking at it, and then I go, oh, I'm dropping frames here.
Yeah.
It's really useful. So I'm really interested to see what kind of frame rate counter they have on GOG Galaxy. It's always really useful to have that sort of thing, especially when you're tweaking graphics options. You're trying to get the best performance out of the system. You're going, I'd rather be able to run this and watch a video, say for example, so that's going to take up more processing power. I could turn down the shadows a bit, or I could turn down the ambient inclusion.
It is incredibly useful because it's like, instead of having because I know some games have like a benchmark thing, but sometimes you just want to be like in the game, just looking at the FPS where you currently
benchmarks
are.
are definitely not representative of
they are useful
gameplay,
but it's not entirely useful.
Yeah. So I think this is really cool. Anything else? They're making it so it uses less CPU. I mean, with the GOG Galaxy stuff, it's always been optional. The GOG guys, the Witcher guys, CG Projekt Red, they've always been about making sure everything's DRM free. So the GOG Galaxy is optional, but they saw people had a need for Steam. They liked having all their games in one place.
Yeah, it's really useful because you don't have to go and find all.
Because
your
it also
shortcuts.
gives you these features like FPS counter.
Yeah.
There's
and the chat and like the community like outside of the game.
So some other stuff they have. They have the screenshot capturing, similar to other.
This is just like we've added some stuff to make it more like Steam because people really like that stuff.
Yeah, they've added the in-game overlay, so you can kind of turn that on. They've added achievement rarity because people like it. People love getting achievements and stuff. Desktop and in-game notifications. So probably one of the biggest features is bandwidth limiting.
Yeah, that's what I was most excited for.
When I saw this original post, I saw people were saying, I play games at university, and if I go over a certain bandwidth, then they shut off my internet, basically, sort of thing. So this is really useful for people who are on like a certain amount of internet. I know Andy at home, his dad limits like his download. He doesn't, like in 2017, doesn't have unlimited downloads, but yeah. He had limited downloads at his place as well, didn't he?
We had mobile internet there at some point, so that's understandable. They don't tend to do unlimited.
But yeah, so if you don't know Andy was on the previous podcast talking about Hearthstone. Probably going to try and get him on again. Recently, about 3 days ago, he reached his first time legend on Hearthstone. So it'd be really interesting to talk about.
As in his own words, he is. I am legend.
I am. Have you seen the film with Will Smith? Because I am legend. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to pick his brain. I like talking about Hearthstone with Andy. So if you want a children's card game only podcast,
that's
then
coming soon.
I can set that up.
It's coming soon, TM.
I'll play a bunch of Gwent as well and say how shit Hearthstone is compared to Gwent.
I really want to play Gwent, so I know you were saying that I could sign up and try and play it, but I want to play the open beta.
You can play it right here, right now, Tony, if you wanted to play Gwent.
Maybe.
Okay. So I think this update's really cool. I don't think there's much to say about this other.
It's good though.
I thought it was really cool that they did this.
Yeah.
Because I use Steam all the time. I use GOG Galaxy for The Witcher 3. I use it to keep Gwent updated. So I use it for those two main games. I mean, these days, mainly when I buy games, I buy them on Steam just because of how cheap it is, and I have all my Steam games together. But when I have the opportunity and it's like a good price, I will buy it on GOG. There's no point not to. It's DRM free.
Yeah.
I think GOG Galaxy is a good service.
It also supports older games far better than Steam does.
And I like their kind of greenlight process as well that we saw coming out. So I'd be really interested to see what's going on. I think I have like...
are these all your games?
Yeah, so they had a system that allowed you to match any game you had on Steam, and they'd give you a copy on...
Right.
On GOG as well, if you already own that game. And also, I just picked up the DRM free codes when I bought them in bundles and stuff, and just put them on here. I think I own like a... I think I own a movie on here as well. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? I own the Pirate Bay AFK movie, and I when I saw it, I was like, well, I didn't know I owned that, and I downloaded and watched it. I thought it was pretty interesting, actually. It was like when the Pirate Bay went to court and they had to, they were being sued for copyright, and they moved their servers to the Swedish pirate. They moved their servers to the Swedish Pirate Party, and if they tried to shut them down there, it would be like political censorship.
Yeah.
So they couldn't shut them down if they moved their servers to there, basically, which I thought was really interesting. So if you've not seen the Pirate Bay AFK, you're kind of interested in that sort of documentary.
You've also got The Art of Playing.
Haven't seen that. I think it's about video games. I'm not sure. I don't actually know anything
You got a
about
wallpaper with it as well. Look at that.
Yeah, so with like every game you get, GOG goes like, you can download the wallpaper, the trailer, what quality you want it in. Like I know The Witch has like a fuck ton of features.
It does.
You can download,
even the Steam version has a ton of stuff like
optional packs.
Yeah.
Soundtrack, wallpaper, all that sort of stuff.
Ebook.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool stuff. I really like GOG Galaxy, but I don't know if anyone's going to play this.
I don't know.
I think I'd use it in conjunction with Origin.
But I'm the sort of person that I don't mind like opening up like Steam and Origin and like you play at the same time and just leave them open to look through my entire game library.
Looking through Witch Through the Wild Hunt, you can download it in parts through
the web browser.
As well. Yeah, manual wallpaper, paper toys
what the hell is that
you can build.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you
art book, the Witch Universe Compendium, a map, soundtrack, HD video, avatars, artwork, comics.
Got these pack Russian
pack, and then I've got some I have Heart of the Stone as well, so I can download that, and I've got wallpaper and stuff for that. So they're very good at packaging everything together and allowing you to download what you want and when you want it.
Yeah.
They also have like update revert stuff, so
that's really useful.
You can revert back to a previous update on your game, which I think is really cool. They've had that for a while.
Then they almost have like unlimited, like you can revert to almost any previous version of the game almost.
Yeah.
As long as it was on GOG.
Yeah. So you can revert to whatever. So if like especially when they're adding like this when they added the Greenlight system. I don't remember what it was called. I'll have to look it up because it was such a long time ago. Let me just look it up for you quickly. GOG. Sorry, I'm just trying to look this up. What have you used GOG Galaxy, Tony?
Yeah, I've used GOG Galaxy. I don't remember what the Greenlight system was called at all. Because I know they advertised it on the home page of GOG at one point. Yeah,
I know that it had an actual name, and we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, it wasn't a very memorable name though, if I remember correctly.
I'll see if I can find it. Also, GOG earlier. We talked about it on show 4.
Almost over a year ago.
One of the first podcasts I ever had on the Google Show Doc, and I didn't put a link to anything. I just put, GOG has the Greenlight thing. So, sorry, GOG, I can't actually find out what the hell your early access thing was called.
It's not very easy to find anymore on GOG, I thought.
Yeah.
Like looking on like the links.
It wasn't called Spotlight, was it? Mod Spotlight? No. I don't. Okay, I'm just going to move off this before I waste any more time. They had like a Greenlight process that I thought was
Let's
cool.
just call it GOG Greenlight.
Yeah, Greenlight's dead though, so... Right, so this is like a huge topic. I don't know why we waited this long to talk about it. Maybe because Daniel doesn't really care, But basically... last week there was a huge rumor that Starcraft Remastered was coming out, and
hype mongering.
I said, there's been so many rumors, even though this is like points to it very heavily that the Starcraft Remastered is coming out. I don't think it's coming out. Like, I don't think they will actually remaster, Starcraft. And then I saw on Blizz Pro, which is like a Twitter account for following all the Blizzard stuff, they said there's a I think it's GSL stream. There's like a StarCraft tournament going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence to support that they're going to announce something really big, possibly Starcraft Remastered at this. So I turned on the stream, and they were talking about how it's Starcraft's 19th anniversary.
Yeah.
They said they'd had the idea, so they developed it for a year. They had the idea for 20 years now. So it's like its 19th anniversary since it came out. And they announced Starcraft Remastered. It was actually real. The absolute madmen. They did it.
They did it. The hype was real in the end.
Yeah. So Starcraft Remastered is coming with remastered graphics, remastered dialogue and audio, so they've enhanced it in their studios. They're making it so you can have Blizzard friends and matchmaking, all with the classic Starcraft gameplay. They haven't tweaked the gameplay at all. It is painstakingly exactly the same Starcraft Brood War.
We know and love.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've never played Starcraft.
No, but a lot of people know and love it.
Yeah. So this is really interesting, and I think it has big implications for esports. Because
you think, ooh.
There's like a slider between what it looks like and the remastered edition, which I think is really cool.
4x3.
Yeah, they've changed it from 4x3 to full widescreen and kind of updated the UI. Still looks exactly the same, but they've kind of moved it out a bit so it can fit on high resolution displays. I mean, from what I've seen...
Is it just me, or is the older crystals look better than the new crystals do?
I don't know.
Like, that looks way more cartoony than that. Like, what's going on there?
I think it looks really cool. I really like the new look that it's got.
I like everything apart from the crystals. The crystals look slightly worse.
I think it's
That's
really
my
cool.
opinion.
And I personally would love to see this sort of thing on like Warcraft 3. I think a lot of people have been like, oh, they're remastering Starcraft 1. Cool, when they're going to remaster Starcraft... when they're going to remaster Warcraft 3, sorry.
Do you not want them just to build it in like a not a custom? What are they called now? Like the custom map stuff you could make.
The map editors.
Yeah.
The arcade.
Yeah, that's it. The arcade.
I think someone did make the Warcraft 3 in the arcade. Like a bunch of people have made stuff in the Starcraft 2 arcade. There's been like a first-person mod for the arcade. There's like a bunch of stuff. So this is really cool. I'd definitely go to the Starcraft website, and they have one of those sliders where it shows the original Starcraft, and you pull it across and it shows the new Starcraft, and you can look between them. And that's a really good way to see the difference. So they're also making, for the story, they're making race-themed comic book interludes that tell the original story, but with like a new kind of spin on it, basically. The new look.
Yeah.
It's
It's kind of hard to remaster like inbuilt movies into your like it's just like they're just whatever file format they are, just like set in stone really. So
still the original races, the Terrans, the Protoss, and the Zerg, of course.
Well, what else would be in there?
Yeah,
it'd be crazy.
I'm trying to look up. I think at the event they said that this was going to be free, and it was coming through StarCraft 2. That you just launched it through StarCraft 2, but I can't find anything about it on their website. So I'm going to have to try and look that up because I can't confirm or deny.
Can't confirm or deny.
Let me look up if BlizzPro knows anything, because that would probably be... Or like if I go on the StarCraft Reddit or something. What do you think of StarCraft Remastered, Tony? Because you've played StarCraft 2.
Yeah, that's my credentials. I've played StarCraft 2.
You've played StarCraft 2?
I've been wanting to play... I've seen a lot of content of I've seen like the first campaign, like someone
StarCraft Remastered will now be 100% free for anyone to play.
On the new patch. Okay.
Yeah,
I've I've watched like the entire first campaign of I assume it's just Starcraft Brood War stuff.
Yeah.
And I do really want to play it, but I never wanted to actually get Brood War because I remember it being like a pain to set up on modern systems. So this is, I think, I will have to look into this and actually re-get StarCraft 2 to get StarCraft Remastered. Does that make sense?
Well, Harry, it says StarCraft Brood War will now be 100% free for anyone who wants to play. As of right now, there's no announced price of StarCraft Remastered. Does that mean the original one's going to be free and this one might cost money?
I have no idea.
So
that's a really weird way of playing it.
I'm assuming it's going to be free, but I'm not sure. So I think you launch it through the 1.18 patch for StarCraft 2. Do I need to buy StarCraft 2 to play this, or can I just play it through the free arcade version?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they haven't decided that yet.
It's got the new remastered one's coming out in 4K, ultra hyper definition, and the gameplay is going to be the same, but they're remastering all the pictures from the comics and all the audio as well. So it's not the matchmaking is going to be enhanced through Blizzard's matchmaking now. So you're going to be able to, I assume, queue up with Battle.net friends and talk to your Battle.net friends on it. I think you're launching it through StarCraft 2, so it's on the Blizzard launcher through Battle.net. By the way, rest in peace, Battle.net launcher.
Well, I haven't updated mine. Mine's still
I'm so upset that my Battle.net launcher has now got a really shitty icon. It's called the Blizzard launcher. I love Battle.net.
You can still rename your icon to... I don't know what I actually say that when you launch it, but if you hover over it, it will say Battle.net if you rename it.
Yeah, I can change the icon manually.
Yeah.
On my desktop.
Yeah.
And pin that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah. I think that's all I've got to say, because there's not that much information other than coming.
It's pretty self-explanatory, though. I think people are going to be hyped for this.
There's a lot of information of what it's going to look like. Yeah. But I'm still waiting for how we're going to acquire this pricing. Apparently it's coming out this summer.
So when they say this summer, they don't mean in 3 days?
They say it's an anticipated release date of summer, and pricing-related information on the Starcraft Remastered will be announced at a later date due to venture prepare to venture once again onto the planetary battlefields of Worn-Torn Koprulu sector. So yeah, this is really interesting. So I think the most interesting thing I want to say about this is this kind of has implication for Starcraft esports, because I know a lot of people love playing Starcraft Brood War, and I think if this got updated, it had an actual matchmaking ladder, I think there would actually be a competitive scene for this. Because I think there's definitely still one for StarCraft 2, no matter how small it is. And we've seen this kind of be carried almost by Total Biscuit and the Shoutcraft Kings.
Yeah.
You know, he hosted a tournament and Blizzard was like, okay, we'll back your tournament and we'll give you a stage and help you carry this out and you know, continue on with StarCraft 2 because we know you like this game. And I think people are definitely going to play StarCraft.
Yeah, there's still like a core community of StarCraft in general.
I'm really interested to see what this turns into, and I'll be interested to see...
You just want the esports.
Well,
because you're not going to play this, are you?
Well, I probably wouldn't watch it either.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not interested in StarCraft. I think it's interesting for people who like this sort of thing.
That's
I'm not
a classic clickbait, right there. What about Warcraft 4?
Yeah, what about Warcraft? I mean, I think this is really interesting for people who love StarCraft, but I'm someone who loved Warcraft.
Yeah, you want Warcraft 4.
I wanted to see the Warcraft 3 remastered Blizzard. I want to see Legacy servers, Blizzard. Come on. You're not remastering the right game. You gave us the Diablo Retrovision patch as well. Where is the Warcraft 3 remastered? Where's the Legacy servers for World of Warcraft?
It's the wrong game.
That's the wrong game. So, I think we'll try and wrap up quickly. So I'll go over these ones quickly. I think we might have briefly mentioned the Xbox Game Pass on a previous podcast, but I didn't write it down, so maybe we did, maybe we didn't. So the Xbox Game Pass is kind of the competitor to PS Now and EA Access. It's coming spring 2017, so fairly soon, with over 100 games.
How is that 100 games for the Xbox One already? Or is this just for Xbox in general?
I think it's 360 as well. I have to confirm or deny. Over 100 Xbox One and backward compatible 360 games.
That's cool.
So Xbox One games are already available. So last week we talked about PlayStation Now was adding PS4 games in like an alpha test. But yeah, the Xbox Game Pass is already adding Xbox One games as well. So that's pretty cool.
It's not quite as big as a PlayStation Now's library. But
no, but I think competition is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this will be interesting to see how Xbox, Game Pass, PlayStation Now, and EA Access all kind of stack up against each other, and how they kind of which one's better, sort of thing. But yeah, that's interesting to see. Final topic before Tony's wish list: Liquid Sky goes into open beta. So I literally just heard of this for the first time when I was reading about it.
On Kotaku.
Yeah, well, I wasn't reading about it on Kotaku, the other day. Apparently, this Liquid Sky raised $4 million in crowdfunding for a game streaming service off gaming PCs, off any device onto like your Nvidia Shield tablet or they're running off a game PC that's streaming off the internet, so you could stream this onto a phone and use a phone to play Skyrim.
If it could run the application, it could then just stream it from their servers, basically.
All the processing would be done on the computer, which means that your device just had to relay the information. Your device becomes a controller, basically, and you're just relaying it back to the system. So the biggest concern with this is, latency. Latency is always the biggest thing with streaming games online. I mean, I tried out PlayStation Now, which is, of course, a stream-based game service where you stream the games off PlayStations. And I thought for the most part it was really good. I was impressed with how far online game streaming has come since the days of OnLive, because that was a huge shit show. And this Liquid Sky thing is coming in the wake of OnLive, where it has to succeed where OnLive failed, because that was quite ambitious. That was quite big. I remember people were hyped for it.
Well, I remember like tons and tons of trailers.
They were giving out those little OnLive systems that you connect to. And it kind of just died in the water, basically, pretty much.
Well, unfortunately, the product wasn't as good as they were claiming it to be, and people just didn't buy it.
I think another feature of this is it's not just like, I can stream it to my phone and play games while I'm out. So apparently it connects to all your accounts, so it connects to Steam, Origin, that sort of stuff, and you play off your already owned games. And another feature that people were saying is if you had a bad PC, instead of having to upgrade your system, you could just stream off a good PC onto your computer basically and play from there, which I thought was a pretty cool feature. It's basically, the announcement was yesterday, March 27th, that it's going into open beta, so anyone could try this now. So if you're interested in streaming games onto different platforms and systems, check this out. It's an open beta. That's what I've got to say. So
hopefully it will succeed where others have failed.
We're going on to the final topic, which is Tony's wish list. So Tony, I think there were some games I looked at yesterday actually, where I was looking at them and I was like, what the hell is this game? We have to
well,
talk about
we need
this.
to do this one for sure.
So 100-Foot Robot Golf is the game, right? So 100-Foot Robot Golf is a fast-paced arcade game where you get to control incredibly large robots on this quest for par. Just swing your golf club to smash even the tallest buildings out of the way or into the way of your robot golfing buddies. Now this looks fucking amazing.
I think the humour of it as well is hilarious. Like the people they have as like pretend like sports commentary is like quite funny. Like they don't care about the destruction of the buildings.
You're basically like giant transformers with golf clubs, and you're trying to play golf while also knocking over and destroying buildings and stuff.
Yeah, little people running away from you because obviously you're a giant robot.
I thought it's got the esports tag. I'm not sure.
I don't know what's up with that.
But I saw this and I was like, you put a lot of shit on your wish list, but this actually looks legit amazing.
It does. I do like.
It's made by the Roundabout people. It's in the bundle.
Is it actually made by the same people?
I think so. Let me check. The No Goblin is the name of the people. Yeah, they make Roundabout. Yeah. We talked about Roundabout as well. I have that on my wish list.
A fantastic game.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same humour, kind of like, crazy, wacky, humour games that look pretty interesting.
A lot of the art direction, like for the cities,
they look very good. Very good looking games.
You were Megazord in that picture. You had like different coloured arms and things.
So it's got online multiplayer, local multiplayer, split screen, so you'll be able to play this online with your friends. It's got achievements, full controller support, leaderboards, trading cards, and the Steam.
I feel like this is going to really shine in multiplayer, though. I feel like
I think definitely you're going to have a lot of fun playing.
Because can't you like sabotage each other's shots?
Yeah,
and
you
things?
can like knock each other over and stuff. It says. smash even the tallest buildings out your way. So you can just get rid of the buildings to make sure you get the.
That sounds really good. I want this game.
Or you can just smash them into the way of your golfing buddies to make sure they don't make their shots.
Nothing you can say to maybe
I remember
not want this.
when me, my friend Albin and Martin played Vertinuous Golf, you basically get power-ups to like fuck over your opponents.
Yeah.
And Martin was like, I'm never playing that game with you again. Fuck you, basically.
He's way too competitive though. I feel like these types of games are far more just having fun.
So it has full English audio and then interface Chinese, simplified Chinese. So if you're Chinese and you're listening, you don't speak English, hello, you don't know what I'm saying. Fuck you.
Yeah, well.
I mean, if someone was to transcribe this podcast, then you would.
Then we're fucked.
Yeah, then we're fucked. Sorry about that.
Oh dear.
So it's got a lot of positive reviews. Looks really good.
Apparently, it's not a very good golf game, but I feel like it's not.
Yeah,
it's not meant to be a golf game.
Some people are reviewing it poorly because like this is a bad golf game, and people are like,
it's not a golf
this
game.
is not meant to be a good golf game.
Silly
it's
golf.
A light-hearted game that is just over the top. Basically, I've put this on my wish list, Tony. This is supposed to be on your wish list. Well done. You did something right for once in your miserable life.
Once in my life, I got it. So, I think I know what the next game's going to be then.
I don't know
if it's going to be on here.
I can look it up. Oh, okay. Ducky Dash.
Oh, that's fine.
You want to look at Ducky Dash? Ducky Dash is a casual racing game that can be played solo or with up to 4 players split screen. Race rubber duckies across 30 different levels with features like jet streams, geysers, and more. Easy enough for small children to play, but time challenges make it fun for adults too. The whole... And then it ends.
I think...
I've written the description too long.
I think this is the meme game for this week, I feel.
Is it the meme game for this week?
For me.
So it's a racing game where you're racing against no one.
The time.
You're just racing against time.
You know, yesterday when we were talking about this,
yeah,
you said I don't understand how like the exploration has anything to do with it.
Apparently, you have exploration.
You can find boosts that like, put you like further down the track if you go exploring. But I don't understand.
So the whole game is you're a rubber ducky doing time trials. It's built as a casual racing game, which I just don't understand how you can have an objective where you're trying to move as fast as possible. But casually.
I thought it was so funny. Like the saying looks stupid. Like you're just a duck. Here's the exploration part. But you're a duck, a rubber duck in a weird world.
The thing is,
racing against no one.
The thing is, the rubber duck looks really polygony. Like he doesn't look. He looks really weird. I'm not sold on this game.
I don't think you should be sold on this game. This is my meme game.
It looks pretty crap, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think.
To me, it's just so bad. It's good. That's.
I mean, it's got 8 user reviews apparently.
That's more than I had when I first saw it. I had like 1.
Someone says it shouldn't be $10. It's horrible shit. Fuck Ducky Dash.
Be fair.
Apparently, it's only about someone said it's only about an hour long. So
when I looked at this, it was only 69p.
Okay, well, it's £7 normally.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to play this. I'm gonna
not interested.
Not interested list, Tony.
Don't want to bring the meme game.
No. What was that fishing game called?
Like Ace of Seafood or something?
Ace of Seafood. So we'll look at that in a second. But basically...
it's no from you.
Ducky Dash is a no from me. If you like a racing game, a casual racing game, where you're racing against...
a
clock... to try and get to the end, and you like meme games that Tony suggests, yeah, check that one out. But the final game we'll look at quickly is Ace of Seafood. So it says, in the seas of the distant future, humans have all but disappeared. In your current newly awakened state, you have no more than a piece of seafood, but you've also been blessed with a talent, leading your allies in battle. Do whatever it takes to become the Ace of Seafood.
Can I just say, the trailer for this is so fantastic with its broken English.
The trailer for this is very confusing. And I looked at it, I read the tags, Action Indie Water, great soundtrack. I watched the trailer, I looked at the screenshots, I still don't know what you do in this game.
Right, what I can figure out from this game is you start off with some basic fish.
Yep.
You breed them together by collecting a resource, or collecting a zone, I assume, to be able to breed those fish together. You then slowly work your way up to get bigger fish and fight more areas.
Right.
And eventually you can breed battleships together, because of course you can.
The fish...
Shoot lasers.
The way the fish fight is they shoot laser beams out of their head, and there's this huge, massive pilot AI thing.
I feel like it's like in the more info section. I feel like it's like not any. Oh, we go. Yeah, the developer's voice. Like this part here is like absolutely fantastic.
So this is what the developers say.
Yeah.
What kind of game should I make? I'd like to float endlessly through a vast, rich world. I want to speed around freely in all directions in a splendid formation. I also want to dig a hole and explore the world underground. I want to challenge monsters several times my size, and I want to shoot laser beams from my mouth and so on. So my dream, and to think that playing as seafood would be the answer to all of them. Behold the school of fish and their subtle movements, built on experience from battles past. Admire the underground tunnels dug out by shrimp. Defeat the monsters that lurk in the deep.
I don't think that's how shrimp work.
And the creatures which can light up the darkest parts of the ocean. Why, even I could not create such amazing creatures in my mind. So instead, let me be the one to tell you their legacy. This is an epic tale of a champion of ocean world, and epic tales are known to have a bit of exaggeration. So, apparently, the frame rate's fixed at 30 FPS. This game appears to support less than 1920 by 1080 resolution. Has built-in graphics options, AMD 100% satisfaction.
It's made by one guy.
Yeah.
In his basement, probably.
Someone says, I'm basing its merits on 1 hour of gameplay against the price of $12. That being said, Ace of Seafood is a unique experience, but also one of them seems shallow and lacking. So, seems like kind of wants to do a lot of things, but doesn't have a lot of depth to them, basically.
I feel like once you've seen a fish shoot lasers,
I read one. It says, I was offered sex with a 21-year-old girl today. In exchange, I was supposed to advertise some kind of fish game. And of course I declined because I'm a person with high moral standards and strong willpower. Just as strong as Shamu, the super secret boss in Ace of Seafood. So, yeah,
that's
that guy
fantastic.
recommended that game. I think this is okay to be on your wish list, but I don't think I'd ever play it.
It's another meme game, but I think it's a better meme game than
I'd
Rubber Duck
I'd like you to spotlight this to me, and I'd like to watch you play this
I think
game.
Michael wanted me to just play this as well, I think, as well as the Rubber Duck one.
Yeah.
Just play this crazy game.
Well, it's on my not interested wish, but I think it's interesting enough that I'd want someone else to waste money on it and see what it is actually
I
like.
just saw it and went, yeah, this game... I just saw lasers coming out of fish and went, yeah, this is for me.
So... that's the end of Tony's wish list. I'll move on to the final thing before we end the show, which is the Peter Molyneux tweet this week. And this week, Peter Molyneux said, imagine a world that begins with horrendous voice acting and face animations, but universally steadily improves as you clear objectives.
So sort of like Mass Effect Andromeda, but with a Peter flair to it.
Yeah, so you've got really awful animations and voice acting, and then as you get further on, they get
It becomes
better.
Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, basically. I thought that was kind of funny. Someone said, so like Evoland, but with Mass Effect.
That's a good comparison. I like that.
Someone said, that's great, Pete, but imagine instead a game that drastically improves with the amount of sold copies.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think that's already kind of what happens. As people...
That's just combining curiosity with Mass Effect Andromeda at that point.
Right.
That's too powerful.
So that's the end of the show. You can catch us on vid.me/inbetween podcast. You can catch us on YouTube, type everything in between podcast. Twitter at Scorn2000 and Facebook Scorn.
And don't forget to eat your baked beans.
And don't forget to eat your baked beans and read the baked bean fact that's on the screen right now. So that's the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Goodbye.